In a small village, a young woman named Dana meets her boyfriend Petro outside their house. Dana's sister, Rena, sees them and warns Dana that their father is looking for her. Rena is on her way to their animal farm to deliver food to one of the workers. When Dana's father goes outside and sees them, Petro immediately runs away. After some time, Rena arrives at the farm and hands the food to Fyodor, their worker, and also her boyfriend. While they rest and talk, one of the sheep runs away from the group, prompting them to search for it. Suddenly, they spot something in the dark and start running, but Rena is left behind. When Fyodor comes back to look for her, he sees something terrifying and screams. Meanwhile, in the village, a group of investigators opens a box full of evidence gathered by a colleague who recently died. They learn that he had calculated the time and date of the next attack by the mysterious figure known as the Horseman, who has been targeting women one at a time during feasts in their town. Gogol, one of the investigators from the city, reveals that the Horseman will take 9 more women before the last feast of their town ends to complete the sacrifice of 13 women. However, they don't yet know its purpose. After some time, Dana and Petro arrive to ask Gogol for help. They inform him that Rena and Fyodor are now missing. As they talk, Dana's father arrives and threatens Petro, telling him to stay away from his daughter. Dana distracts her father by telling him that Gogol has promised to find Rena as quickly as possible. Gogol assures them, and they leave. After everyone leaves, Gogol spots Lisa outside, his love interest who is already married, and rushes to meet her. However, Lisa tells him that she is being haunted by a ghostly woman who warns her to avoid him at all costs. She thinks she is losing her mind, but Gogol reassures her that she is not, and admits that the ghost is appearing in his dreams as well, showing visions of being drowned. This puzzles Lisa, but suddenly Fyodor appears, covered in blood but not injured. They immediately take him to a room where they ask about Rena's whereabouts, but he does not respond and only utters the word beast. Gogol and the head of the police department, Bink, argue about how to approach Fyodor's interrogation, and eventually decide to search the woods instead. Soon, they begin looking for Rena in the woods, and Gogol sees the ghost that Lisa mentioned. However, he is not afraid and reveals that he has the gift to communicate with spirits, and the ghost's name is Oksana. He tells her not to visit Lisa again, but Oksana becomes angry and promises that Gogol will not see her again and will drown him if he shows up to her place again in the pond. After searching for a while, they find what they believe to be Rena's dead body, which devastates Dana and her father. However, when the town doctor Baumgart examines the remains, he concludes that it is not human, but a sheep. This gives hope that Rena might still be alive. Later that night, Gogol finds his birth record among the collection of evidence. As he starts reading it, he discovers that he had 5 siblings, all of whom died at childbirth, and that he is the only one to survive. While sleeping, he dreams of a burning flower and woman repeating the words, "Autumn flower. An innocent will die in the hands of the innocent." When he wakes, he goes to Oksana's pond asking for her help, and she grants his request. Oksana reveals that the autumn flower, also known as the blood flower, blooms only once a year under the moonlight and can reveal gold buried in the ground. However, only the innocent can pick the flower. Afterward, Oksana asks for a reward and kisses him, but then pushes him into the pond. As he begins to drown, he sees a vision of himself as a sick child. When he wakes up near the pond the next morning, he immediately approaches Father Bartholomew to share the information he gathered. Today is a feast in the village, and Gogol believes that the Horseman will attack again, so he must hurry. Bartholomew reveals that he has been following a man named Basar, who has been wandering around doing suspicious things. He tracked Basar near Bear Creek, but couldn't follow him any further or discover what he was doing there. He heard rumors that Basar is looking for gold, but Bartholomew suspects that Basar is up to something more, as he has been frequenting the place these days. Lisa is also in the church praying, so Gogol doesn't want to bother her and decides to leave. However, Lisa approaches him and learns that he is going to Bear Creek. She warns him not to go, as it is dangerous to go alone in that area, but Gogol insists. Before going to Bear Creek, Gogol asks for the help of his friend Vaku. However, Vaku is also afraid to go there and cannot accompany him because there would be no one to look after his daughter, Vasi. Despite this, Gogol insists, so Vaku gives him a weapon to protect himself. Meanwhile, it is revealed that Basar is indeed at Bear Creek, and Petro is with him. As the moon begins to rise, the blood flower shines, and Basar instructs Petro to pick the flower and drop it in the water. The rocks in the water turn to gold, but when Petro picks one, the gold turns back into stone. Basar reveals that Rina is in his possession and explains to Petro that the gold will only remain gold if the blood of an innocent is sacrificed. It also requires the hands of an innocent to handle it before the moon disappears. Petro is ready to follow Basar's orders, but fortunately, Gogol arrives and shoots Petro, although Petro injures Rina as well. Enraged by this, Basar reveals his true form to Gogol, but not the horseman he's been hunting. Gogol takes Rina with him and runs back to the village, asking Baumgart to heal her. Baumgart believes that Rina might not survive due to blood loss, but Gogol convinces him to trust in the god as he decides who survives. Meanwhile, Petro's death reaches Dana and blames her father for it. After stitching Rina's wound, Baumgart concludes that she is gone. However, she suddenly takes a breath, shocking the two men. With the horsemen still out there and the feast not yet over, there is a danger that one more woman might be taken tonight. Gogol goes back to his place and finds Lisa waiting for him. She tells him that her husband is away for the night and they share a kiss. However, Oksana is also there and becomes angry at what she sees. The next morning, they find another woman dead, and Gogol realizes that the evidence they found is accurate. They immediately implement a village rule that all young women must have a companion to guard them until morning. The next morning, they find that 7 houses with young women living in them have been marked. The guards didn't notice anyone entering the village, so they suspect that the culprit is living inside the village and working for the horsemen. Meanwhile, a woman named Yana does not believe it and ignores the warning of an older woman. At the same time, Gogol and the others find that Lisa's mansion is also marked. Bink thinks that one of Lisa's servants is the target because the horseman has never targeted a rich family before, but Gogol is convinced that Lisa is the target. But since someone in the village is monitoring the women, Gogol suggests that they should hide the marked women in one place before the night falls. Isaac suggests hiding the women in an abandoned barn nearby. Bink agrees, but instructs Isaac to wait for his orders before moving the women to the barn. Meanwhile, Gogol meets Lisa. But before he can inform her of the situation, Lisa's husband Alex arrives and invites him to lunch. Gogol then speaks to Alex about their plan to hide the women, including Lisa. But Alex does not believe him and declines, prompting Gogol to leave immediately. At the same time, Vasi goes to Yana's house and enters. While peeking through the window, she sees Yana and gets scared. When she turns around, Yana is already outside, trying to lure her into the house, but Vasi runs away and immediately goes to her father to tell him what happened. Vaku then goes to Gogol to inform him that Vasi saw a dead dog inside, covered in blood. Gogol recalls what Baumgart said about the marks and begins to suspect that Yana is the horseman's accomplice. Gogol immediately goes to Yana's house to investigate, but a man has already killed Yana and knocks him out. When he wakes up, he finds Latin words written on the floor, but even Baumgart doesn't know what they mean. Bink arrives and accuses Gogol of killing Yana, claiming that he and Yana work for the horsemen. Frustrated, Gogol advises Bink to start working on finding the real culprit before it gets dark, as another woman might die tonight. While at his place, Oksana appears and tells Gogol that he should forget about Lisa because she is married. When he shows her the weapon that killed Yana, Oksana gets scared and tells him that the weapon is for killing witches, and Gogol realizes something. Gogol immediately tells Bink that the killer will return to take Yana's body. After some time, a man enters the room where Yana's body is. Bink reveals that they are already waiting for him, and the man does everything he can to escape the room but fails. While tied to a chair, the man named Brute reveals that he is an exorcist who has been hunting Yana for years. However, he secretly removes his wooden hand and frees his hands without them knowing. He then takes Gogol hostage and forces Bink to lock himself inside his own cell. He takes Gogol with him and convinces him to complete the rites on Yana, as she is a very powerful witch who will summon a demon to Earth. Meanwhile, Baumgart is just waking from a long sleep in his clinic where Yana is. As Yana rises and starts to approach and attack him, Brute and Gogol arrive and stop her. They take her to the church to begin the final rites, where Brute reveals that he has been tracking a demon named V. He found traces of rituals intended to summon V, which led him to Yana, as well as to another one he hasn't encountered yet. Brute begins preparing for the ritual and tells Gogol that they should stay inside the circle he has made. Meanwhile, Bink follows Gogol's suggestion and brings all the women to the barn, with several men guarding them. At the church, Brute informs Gogol that performing the rites could be fatal, but he is also certain that it is the only way to stop the demon. Suddenly, Yana begins to shake and rises, revealing she is already possessed. As Yana begins to approach them, Brute immediately starts reading the last rites, and when Yana tries to attack Gogol, it is revealed that the circle provides a barrier, preventing her attack. Yana also reveals that the horseman is working for the demon and will finish the job tonight, but Gogol can't leave the circle to warn the others. Meanwhile, the horseman finds the barn and begins attacking the men guarding it outside, while the rest watch in terror from inside. At the same time, Bink and the others are searching for Brute when an injured guard arrives, informing them of the attack at the barn. They immediately rush to the barn and find everyone dead. Now that the horseman has completed his task of sacrificing 13 women, the demon Vey can be summoned by Yana at any time. Meanwhile, in the church, one of the wooden floorboards detaches, allowing Yana to attack and kill Brute, prompting Gogol to continue reading the last rites. Suddenly, the demon arrives, terrifying Gogol, but Oksana appears with the other ghosts and tells Gogol not to look into the demon's eyes and to continue reading the rites. Gogol finishes the rites, and the demon Vey explodes and disappears as both Gogol and Yana collapse to the floor. When Bink and the others arrive at the church, there is no sign that the demon has possessed Yana, but they confirm that Gogol is already dead. In a flashback, it is revealed that Gogol did not survive childbirth, causing his parents great frustration, as all of their 6 children had died. Just as his father walks outside, a mysterious man offers to revive his son. The man then enters the room, revives the baby, and tells them that their son has a mission. See you in our next film, Flash. Thank you for watching.